Hello everyone, welcome to the ITLS Academy. Our today's lecture is on the topic Food Safety Management System. Let's begin the lecture with the introduction first. The Codex Alimentarius Commission, as we have discussed about this in the previous lecture, according to it, it brought out an international standard on food safety management system HACCP in 1997. The food industry is keenly awaiting for such an international standards implemented in it their operations and got certification though implementation in their operations. Since this was not a requirement standard, a number of countries and regions developed their own standards that would based on the HACCP principles for the supply of safe food to the consumers and the customers. Thus, one model developed by Codex became 20 models in its application with differing scopes and uneven levels of the food safety. The International Organization for Standardization stepped in and brought out ISO 22000 to 2005 food safety management systems requirement for any organization in the food chain. This standard has been developed by the experts from the food industry along with the representatives of a specialized international organization and in close cooperation with the Codex Alimentarius Commission for providing a framework of internationally harmonized requirements. The aim of this international standard is to harmonize on a global level the requirement for the food safety management for business within the food chain. It is particularly intended for application by organizations that seek a more focused, coherent, and integrated food safety management system than in normally required by the laws. It generally requires an organization to meet an applicable food safety related statutory and regulatory requirement through its food safety management system. So this was the short introduction about the food system management system that has been developed by ISO. Now let's understand who should use the ISO 22000 2005. Since ISO 22000 is a generic food safety management standard, it can be used by an organization directly or indirectly involved in the food chain. It applies to all the organization in the food chain. It doesn't matter how complex the organization is or what's the size of it. The ISO 22000 can help to ensure that the safety of its food product and the food is safe to all the levels. The food chain consists of entire sequence of the stages and operations involved in the creation and consumption of the food products. This includes every step from initial production to the final consumption. And if we talk about more precisely, it includes the production, processing, distribution, storage, and handling of all the food and food ingredients. The food chain also includes the organization that do not directly handle the food. These includes the organization that produce feed for animals, and it also includes the organization that produce materials that will eventually come in contact with the food or the food ingredients. Now let's understand why to use ISO 22000 and is to 2005. ISO 22000 will help you to achieve the following objectives in a manner to establish a food safety management system FSMS to ensure that the product do not cause adverse health effect and to demonstrate compliance with the external safety requirement, to evaluate customers food safety requirement, to provide a safe product and enhance customer satisfaction, to export food products and penetrate international market, to communicate safety issues throughout the food chain, and to ensure the compliance with the company's food safety policy. Okay, according to the ISO 22000, there are certain key elements of this organization. The ISO 22000 combines generally recognized key elements to ensure that the food safety along the food chain. So it comprises of, as shown in figure, the interactive communication system approach to food safety management, prerequisite program, and HACCP principles. Interactive communication deals with that ISO 22000 requires that interactive communication, that is proactive, open, continuous dialogue with the stack of holders to ensure that all the relevant food safety hazards are identified and adequately controlled at each step within the food chain through the communication to all the parties in the food chain at every level from each department, and communication with customers and suppliers based on the informations generated through the systematic hazards analysis is maintained to establish customers and suppliers requirement in the terms of feasibility, need, and impact on the end product. So interactive communication not only deals with the industries within the industries itself, it also related to the customers and consumers and their predictions about the product. Next is the systems approach to food safety management. The most effective food safety system are designed, operated, and updated within the framework of a structured management system and incorporated into the overall management activities of the organization. Eventually, this provides the maximum benefit for the organization and interest parties, and the standard has taken due consideration of the provision of the ISO 9001 and to 2008 in order to enhance the compatibility of the two standards. Next, let's talk about the prerequisite program. The prerequisite programs, in short, we also call as the PRPs, are the conditions that must be established throughout the food chain, and the activities and practices that must be performed in order to establish and maintain a hygienic environment. These all the points that I have discussed in our previous lecture containing about the GHP and GMP. You can refer to that lecture also. So, PRPs must be suitable and be capable of providing food that is safe for human consumption. And prerequisite programs are also referred to as a good hygienic practices, and it is also for good agriculture practices, good production practices, good manufacturing practices, good distribution practices, and good trading practices. In addition to this, operational prerequisite programs are also the prerequisite programs that are essential, and because hazard analysis has shown that they are necessary in order to control specific food safety hazard. So, operational prerequisite programs are used to reduce the likelihood that products will be exposed to hazards that will be contaminated, and that hazards will proliferate, or also used to reduce the likelihood that the processing environment will be exposed to hazard. So these are the prerequisite programs why it is handled that. And next, last one is the HACCP principles. ISO 22000 integrates the HACCP 7 principle. We have also discussed about the HACCP principles in detail in our in our earlier lecture. Do refer to that for understanding the HACCP principles. So the HACCP principles was developed by the Codex Alimentarius Commission and dynamically combined it with the prerequisite programs necessary to control and reduce any food safety hazard identified for the end products delivered to the next step in the food chain to acceptable levels. Generally, the HACCP principles are based on the seven principles, that is to conduct a hazard analysis to determine the critical control points, establish the critical limits. The fourth one is the establish a system to monitor control of the uh, critical control points, and fifth one is to establish the corrective action to be taken when monitoring indicates that a particular critical control point is not under control. Second last is the principle that to establish procedures for verification to confirm that the HACCP system is working effectively or not. And the last principle is the establishment of the documentation concerning all the procedures and records appropriate to these principles and their application. If you talk about the principles in really short form in details, the first principle says to conduct a hazard analysis. When the process flow diagram is completed and verified, has a team conduct a hazard analysis and list all the biological, chemical, physical hazard that may be reasonably expected to occur at each step from the primary production, processing, manufacturing, and distribution until the point of consumption. When conducting the hazard analysis, consideration must be given to the impact of the raw material, ingredients, manufacturing practices, role of manufacturing processing to control hazards, likely end use of the products, and consumers population at risk, and epidemiologically evidence relative to the food safety. The next principle says about the second principle, that to identify the critical control point. So, a critical control point is a point or a procedure in a food manufacturing process at which control can be applied, and as a result, a food safety hazard can be prevented, eliminated, or reduced to an acceptable level. The identification of a CCP is in the HACCP system is facilitated by the application of a decision tree, and all hazards that may be reasonably expected to occur at each step should be considered. The third principle is the established critical limit for each critical control point. A critical limit is the maximum or minimum value to which a physical, biological, or chemical hazard must be controlled at a critical control point to prevent, eliminate, or to reduce to an acceptable level. Since the critical control point defines the boundaries between the safe and unsafe products, it is a vital that they are specified at the correct level and validated at each criteria. The HACCP team should therefore fully understand the criteria governing safety at each critical control point in order to set the appropriate critical limits. Critical limits must be specified for each preventative measure. The fourth principle says about the establishment of the monitoring system for each critical control point. So, monitoring activities are necessary to ensure that the process is under control at each critical control point, and is one of the most important aspects of the HACCP system, and it is the schedule measurement of a CCP relative to its critical limit. The monitoring procedures must be able to detect loss of control at the CCP and provide information in time for corrective action to regain the control of the process. Fifth principle says the establishment of corrective action, and these are the actions to be taken when monitoring indicates a deviation from a established critical limit. The final rule requires a plans has a plan to identify the corrective action to be taken if a critical limit is not met. So, corrective action are intended to ensure that no product injurious to health or otherwise adulterated as a result of the deviation enters commerce. The sixth principle is about the establishment of verification procedure. Here, the verification ensures that the HACCP plan is adequate, that is working as intended. Verification procedure may include such as activities as review of HACCP plans, critical control point records, critical limits, and microbial sampling and analysis. Verification also includes the validation, that is the process of finding evidence for the accuracy of the HACCP system, and validation ensures that the plans do what they were designed to do, and that is they are successfully in ensuring the production of the safe product. The last principle says the establishment record keeping procedure. It is an efficient and accurate record keeping is essential to the application of a HACCP system. Record need to be kept of all the areas which are critical to product safety to demonstrate the HACCP system in compliance with the documented systems. The HACCP regulations requires that all the plant maintain certain documents, including its hazard analysis and written HACCP plan and record, documenting the monitoring of the critical control point, critical limits, verification activities, and the handling of the processing deviation. Next, let's talk about the ISO 22000 Food Safety Management System. The food safety management system is a set of interrelated or interacting elements to establish policy and objectives and to achieve those objectives used to direct and control an organization with regards to food safety. An ideal food safety management system is an enterprise should be one that meets the food safety policy related to the food safety as formally and achieve the measurable objectives related to the policy. It also should be one that meets the performance of the effectiveness, that is the extent to which the planned activities are realized and planned results achieved, and efficiency, that is in relation between the result achieved and the resource needed. And third is the applies proven management principles, that is the uh, comprehensive and fundamental rule of belief for leading and operating an enterprise aimed at continually improving performance over the long term by focusing on customers while addressing the need of all the stockholders. So, an effective FSMS should be one that is well established, documented, implemented, maintained, and continually improved and updated, and has its product services that actually meets its intended use and are safe in proactive and innovative scientific risk avoiding and prevention oriented. So these are the objectives that ISO 22000 focus on the food safety management system. Okay, here is a diagram showing the model of the ISO 22000. The ISO 22000 model is a continuous improvement process based on the food safety management system with systematic approach to developing, planning, validating, establishing, implementing, monitoring, verifying, and improving the FSMS process. While implementing the model for food safety control measures, the ISO 22000 requires that the organization to plan and develop processes need for the realization of the safe product, implement, operate, ensures the effectiveness of the planned activities, and this includes the prerequisite programs plus operational prerequisite program and the HACCP principles and plans. The organization uses a dynamic and systematic process approach to develop the food safety management system, and this is achieved through the effective development, implementation, monitoring of the planned activities, maintenance, and verification of the control measures, updating the food processes and process environment, and through appropriate actions in the event of the production of non conformities. And we can also focus the ISO 22000 groups controls measures into the three groups, that is the as we discussed about prerequisite program. Again, let me remind you that they manage the basic conditions and activities and are not selected for the purpose of controlling a specific identified hazards, but for the purpose of maintaining a hygienic production, processing, and handling environment. The second group measures is the operational prerequisite program that manages those control measures that the hazard analysis identifies as necessary to control the identified hazard to acceptable level and which are not otherwise managed by the HACCP plan. And last third is the HACCP and has a plan to manage those measures that the hazard analysis identifies as necessary to control identified hazards to acceptable level, and which are applied at critical control points. So these three critical control points that are controlled by the ISO 22000 and are divided into three groups. Next comes towards your ISO 22000 certification. The ISO 22000 is designed to be used for certification and registration purposes. In other words, once a company has established a food safety management system that meets ISO requirement, it can apply for certification to a certification agency to audit the system. If certification agency find after audit that the implemented system meets the ISO 22000 requirements, it will issue an official certificate that state that company's FSMS meets the food safety requirements. However, if it is not mandatory to go for certification, a company can be compliant without being formally certified by an accredited certification agency. It can self-access the system implemented and declare ISO 22000 compliant company, but company customers and business partners are not likely to accept that the company has an effective FSMS if it is not certified. Let's talk about the benefits of the ISO 22000 for users. Organization implementing this standard will benefit from organized and targeted communication among the trade partners, optimization of the resources, improved documentation, better planning, less post process verification, most efficient and dynamic control of the food safety hazard, all control measures subject to the hazard analysis, systematic management of prerequisite programs, wide application because it is focused on one ends, valid basis for taking decisions, increased due diligence, control focused on what is necessary, and saving resources by reducing overlapping system audits. Along with the ISO 22000, we have another method of quality management system that is based on the ISO 9001. The ISO is the most important of international standard getting organization. It is the World Federation of National Standard Bodies, an international non-government organization with a mandate to prepare and propagate voluntary consensus-based international standards. ISO develops a standard through technical committee represented by concerned stockholders. All its standards are voluntary in nature. However, given its credibility as the most internationally accepted organization, ISO standards have considered considerable trade effect due to their wide use of international trade. In pursuit of excellence, quality has taken a tangible from with the advent of ISO 9000 series of standard. It is recognized internationally as a benchmark for measuring quality. It provides measures of an organization's ability to consistently deliver a product or services that meets the requirement of its customers. It also provides a framework for continuous improvement in quality, and this is the reason why ISO 9000 series of standards have become the subject of intense focus worldwide. It is becoming increasingly important both as a potential marketplace requirement and as a marketable company features. So ISO 9000 series is a generic in nature and are relevant to all types of business, whether it will be a manufacturing industries or service establishment. Thank you for being with us. For more information, please log on to our website www.itlsacademy.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and yes, do not forget to subscribe our channel ITLS Academy at YouTube. Thank you.